Stop everything you are doing and listen with the intensity of a man who has decided to never struggle again. If you truly absorb what I'm about to say, if you listen with hunger and do not drift, if you return to this message day after day and allow it to soak into your subconscious until it begins to think for you, then hear me now. You will attract more money than you can spend, and it will not surprise you. It will not confuse you. It will not intimidate you, because it will be the result of something greater than effort, greater than education. It will be the result of law. Money does not come to the busy. It does not come to the needy. It does not even come to the deserving. Money comes to the man who has trained his mind to expect it every hour, every day, without apology, without contradiction, and without fail. The man who is poor in wallet is first poor in thought, but the man who is rich in mind cannot stay broke for long. This is not mere hope. This is not wishful thinking. This is spiritual law, immutable, invisible, and available to you if you listen like your life depends on it, because in a way it does. What you are about to hear is not motivation. It is not entertainment. It is instruction. It is the blueprint to attract more money than you've ever imagined if you are bold enough to believe. So I say to you, turn off the world, silence your doubts, and give yourself fully to this teaching. For when it ends, you will no longer think as the average man. You will walk differently. You will speak differently. You will expect differently. And money will feel it. And it will come. Introduction. Riches begin with a state of mind. If you do not yet attract wealth, it is not because you are not worthy. It is because your mind is not yet prepared to receive it. Riches do not appear by accident, nor do they gather around the man who merely works harder than others. They gravitate to the man who has prepared the soil of his mind to hold them, believe in them, and command them. Money is not emotional. It does not respond to struggle. It does not weep for your effort. It flows to those who expect it, believe in it, and speak of it with confidence. I have studied thousands of men, great men, rich men, poor men, drifting men. And the difference was never luck. It was never schooling. It was always belief, always consciousness. You must understand this clearly now. Money is magnetized by thought, not random thought, but sustained, definite, emotionalized thought. Your current wealth, or lack of it, is the exact reflection of what you have habitually believed possible for you. If your pockets are empty, it is because your belief system has holes. It is not punishment. It is the law. Wealth is not earned by toil alone. There are millions of men toiling harder than the rich man, yet receiving a fraction of the reward. Why? Because wealth is a product of state of mind. It begins inside. It begins with self-image, with faith, with expectancy, and if those ingredients are missing, no amount of effort will compensate. Confusion repels wealth. Vagueness clouds the subconscious. If you say you wish for money but feel unworthy of it, or speak against it in secret, or resent those who have it, then the law will respond accordingly. You cannot expect a tree to grow if you pour poison on its roots. You cannot expect wealth while cursing its presence. Riches do not obey the man who pleads. They obey the man who commands through belief, clarity, and decision. And the power to command does not come from arrogance. It comes from understanding the law. It comes from harmony with truth. It comes from deciding that wealth is your rightful state, not someday, but now. If you are ready to become rich beyond measure, if you are ready to demand riches of life, not with greed, but with spiritual boldness, then I say to you now, listen with your whole being. For what follows is not a list of suggestions. It is a sequence of laws. Each truth is a rung on the ladder of abundance. Miss one, and you fall. Obey them, and the vaults of fortune will open to you. This speech will not simply inform you, it will recondition you. If you listen daily and allow the sound of wealth to replace the old silent whisper of poverty in your subconscious, then I promise you this, Money will begin to come, so much of it, so freely, that you will wonder where it has been hiding all this time. It was never hiding. It was waiting, waiting for you to stop doubting, waiting for you to rise, waiting for you to believe as you never have before. And now it waits no more. Repeat this now. I am the architect of wealth. I believe, I demand, I attract. Again, I am the architect of wealth. I believe, I demand, I attract. And now we begin with the first great law. Part 1, money comes to the man who expects it. There is a law, cold and unbending, which governs the flow of wealth. No man may become rich until he first expects to become rich. This expectation is not a shallow wish. It is not the mere hope of the weak man who cries out to the sky in times of lack. It is the quiet certainty of the one who knows that money is his servant and not his master. Wealth consciousness is the foundation of all riches. Without it, a man can labor for 50 years and still have nothing to show but the calluses on his hands. With it, another man may labor 10 and draw into his life more money than he can spend in 10 lifetimes. The difference is not effort. It is inner certainty. It is belief. Wealth consciousness is a state of expectation. It is a mind that looks into the future and sees not lack but plenty, not delay but arrival, not struggle but increase. It is not arrogance to expect riches. It is alignment with law. You do not apologize for expecting gravity to hold you to the earth. Why apologize for expecting the law of abundance to respond to your belief? Understand this. Money cannot resist belief. Money follows belief as surely as a shadow follows light. The man who walks with strong expectation in his heart causes events, people, and opportunities to arrange themselves in his favor. He may not see it at first, but the universe is already bending to his certainty. Most men repel money without knowing it. They speak of wealth with jealousy. They criticize those who have it. They fear it, doubt it, or idolize it. They say things like, "Money doesn't matter," while secretly wishing for more. This contradiction poisons their subconscious. It erects a wall between their efforts and their reward. You must become a man who expects wealth as naturally as he expects to breathe. You must treat money not as a prize, but as a partner, one that walks beside you as long as you walk with clarity, service, and purpose. Do not shrink in its presence. Do not tremble in its absence. Speak to it with the calm of a commander. Henry Ford did not stumble into billions. He carried billions in his consciousness long before they ever reached his hands. He did not ask, "Is this possible?" He said, "It will be done." When his engineers said a V8 engine could not be created, he told them, "Build it anyway." And because he expected the result, it appeared. Expectation is not emotional noise. It is not desperation. It is inner government. It is decision made solid. It is thought fused with purpose and unshakable resolve. To expect riches is to leave no room for contradiction. You do not speak doubt one day and belief the next. You do not ask the opinions of lesser men. You decide. I say this to you plainly. If you are poor in wallet, you must begin by becoming rich in thought. Look around you. Your current reality is the outpicturing of your habitual inner state. If it is small, grow bigger within. If it is chaotic, become organized within. If it is lacking, expand your belief within. You are not a slave to your past. You are not cursed by birth or background. You are not held back by the economy, by politics, or by your education. These are the lies of small thinkers. You are only ever held back by what you believe is possible for you. Repeat this with fire. I am not afraid of wealth. I welcome it. I expect it. I deserve it. Say it again. I am not afraid of wealth. I welcome it. I expect it. I deserve it. The world cannot argue with a man who believes. Doors will open where none existed. Opportunities will find you before you find them. Ideas will emerge, people will align, and momentum will gather around you, not because of magic, but because of mental law. But this law requires discipline. You must feed it daily. You must protect your expectation from the termites of fear and doubt. You must walk with wealth in your voice, in your shoulders, in your eyes, even before the gold arrives, especially before it arrives. That is the test. No more small talk about poverty. No more guilt about success. No more shrinking in the presence of wealth. You are not the exception. You are not the outsider. You are the one who has chosen to rise. And now that you know the law, you must never again speak against it. Write this down. Post it on your wall. Repeat it every morning. Money is drawn to my belief. I expect increase. I expect reward. I expect riches in great abundance. Hold this thought with intensity for 30 days, and your outer life will begin to reflect the fire you have ignited within. The change will be quiet at first, a conversation, a decision, an opportunity, but it will grow, and once the law responds, it does not withdraw. Part 2. Money obeys your chief aim. There is no man, living or dead, who has become wealthy without first forming in his heart and on paper a definite chief aim. Not a vague dream, not a polite intention, but a clear, written, burning, emotionalized demand placed upon life with full expectation of its fulfillment. This is the throne of all wealth. Money does not flow to indecision. It avoids vagueness like light avoids shadow. The man who cannot say exactly what he wants and why and when and how he plans to get it shall receive nothing. For he has given the law nothing to respond to. His thoughts are scattered. His action is sporadic. His results will mirror his confusion. Your definite chief aim is your command post. It is the instruction you give to your subconscious, and your subconscious in turn gives it to infinite intelligence. It is the blueprint that all your plans must serve. It is the seed that every day must water. It is the sentence that must become your identity. Write it, speak it, repeat it. This is not foolishness. This is the method of kings. Andrew Carnegie demanded that I write my own definite chief aim before I could even begin the work that would become Think and Grow Rich. He would have dismissed me entirely had I not burned with clarity. He knew that a man with no aim is a man with no claim to riches. I ask you now, what is your chief aim? Not what you might want if it were possible, but what you demand of life as a man of purpose. If you cannot yet say it aloud, then you are not yet ready for wealth. But if you can form it in your mind and put it in writing and say it with conviction, then wealth has already begun moving toward you. Look at Edwin C. Barnes. He did not say, "I'd like to work for Edison." He said, "I will become his business partner." No money, no connections. Just an idea so definite, it gave him the courage to board a freight train and show up at Edison's door. He carried his chief aim into every word, every gesture, every moment, and it made the impossible submit. This is how the law works. What you demand, believe, and act upon consistently and without apology must come. Life cannot deny the man who never wavers. The only reason most never receive what they want is that they never truly decide what they want. And let me warn you, your aim must be written in fire. It must stir your blood. It must cause you to speak differently, walk differently, and act with a new sense of force. If your aim does not excite you and terrify your former self, it is too small. Expand it, sharpen it, own it. Your chief aim must also be surrounded by organized planning. A wish is powerless without structure. What service will you render? What value will you give in return for the riches you demand? The law does not reward beggars, it rewards builders. Post your aim where you can see it daily. Carry it in your wallet. Read it morning and night. Speak it aloud until your subconscious accepts it as identity. You are no longer a man who hopes. You are a man who commands. And when the world attempts to distract you, when weak men tell you to be realistic, you will return to your aim. It will be your anchor. It will remind you who you are. It will burn through doubt and whisper again, "This is where I am going. Nothing can stop me." Say this aloud. I fix my aim. I speak it. I burn for it. I bend life to it. Again with decision. I fix my aim. I speak it. I burn for it. I bend life to it. Now write this. My definite chief aim is, and then state your specific goal, the date, the reward you seek, and the service you will render. Repeat it aloud, twice daily, with faith, clarity, and emotional intensity. You are building the mental magnet that wealth will answer to. The more definite you become, the more undeniable you become. Remember, the man who lacks a chief aim will chase money forever and die with nothing. The man who forms it, believes it, and acts on it will command wealth to follow him like a shadow follows the sun. And now you have your aim. Part 3, desire is the spiritual magnet for money. Desire is the fire that gives breath to wealth. It is the origin of all creation, the starting point of all achievement, the fuel behind every fortune. Without burning desire, riches will not come. Not because they cannot, but because they are not commanded with enough intensity to be drawn into your world. Desire is not a whisper. It is a war cry. It is not passive. It is not polite. It is a spiritual force, emotionalized and fixed in the mind, that refuses to let a man sleep until his aim is fulfilled. Where there is no desire, there is no drive. And where there is no drive, there is no destination. You must learn to separate casual want from consuming desire. One drifts, the other conquers. The world is filled with men who wish for wealth. They speak of riches on their lips, but keep poverty in their hearts. They want to be comfortable, not great. They want safety, not conquest. And life gives them what they expect, little. Desire is spiritual when it is fused with service, definiteness, and faith. It must become obsession. The kind of obsession that drives you from your bed in the morning, that makes your chest burn with purpose, that pushes your body into action before the world even wakes. Look to the example of Andrew Carnegie. He did not gather a fortune by luck. He was consumed with a desire, not only to possess riches, but to create, to build, to uplift. He selected men with burning desire. He rejected the brilliant who lacked fire. Why? Because desire is the only force that transforms vision into value. When you possess burning desire, the world will begin to bend. Circumstances, obstacles, people, they rearrange around the man who refuses to accept anything less than the object of his vision. The universe has no defense against the man who decides he will not be denied. Desire makes you alert. It increases your ability to recognize opportunity. The man who burns with purpose will see doors others walk past. He will find energy others have not tapped. He will move mountains, not because he is stronger, but because he is on fire. But this fire must be controlled. It must be channeled. A wildfire consumes without purpose, but a focused flame builds empires. Your desire must be tied to your definite chief aim. It must be written, repeated, and felt. Speak it aloud with emotion. Visualize it with clarity. Move toward it with action, not mere imagination. Do not ask if you are ready. Burn until you become ready. The desire itself is proof that you are already worthy. The fire within you is the signal of life calling you upward. Do not smother it with fear or delay. Feed it, fan it, fuel it until it roars. Say this now. I burn with lawful desire. I attract by emotional intensity and decision. Again, louder. I burn with lawful desire. I attract by emotional intensity and decision. Every man who has built lasting riches did so not through idle want, but through unrelenting desire. Think of Thomas Edison. 10,000 failed experiments. 10,000 dark nights, but his desire for the light never dimmed. He saw the result before the world could, and his desire lit the way. This is spiritual law. What you desire with faith, you attract with force. What you obsess over with clarity, you magnetize into existence. And what you tolerate becomes your life. Therefore, tolerate nothing but the realization of your desire. Do not grow soft with time. Do not cool your aim to fit the opinions of others. Let your heart burn. Let your imagination feed on the image of success. Let your repetition burn the picture into your subconscious until it becomes your dominant reality. If you feel your desire fading, go back to your aim. Speak it aloud. Remind yourself why you began. Rewrite your plan if needed, but never replace your purpose. Desire, once ignited, must be guarded, or it will be stolen by the cold hands of average thinking. Burn higher, burn longer, burn until you forget the man you used to be. Write this on your wall. My burning desire is sacred. I give it daily fuel. I speak it aloud. I act upon it. I refuse to live without its fulfillment. Desire is the invitation. Action is the reply. You cannot burn and sit still. The man who burns must move. He must work, he must build, and in building he is transformed, not just into a rich man, but into a great man. So now I ask you, what do you desire so deeply that it would shame you to abandon it? Because until your desire reaches that temperature, money will not take you seriously. But once it does, once you declare with decision, persistence, and fire, nothing on this earth can stop it from coming to you. Part 4. Autosuggestion. Speak riches into your reality. Desire without direction is chaos. Belief without repetition is weakness. But when burning desire is joined with autosuggestion, the spiritual becomes physical. You must now understand the subconscious mind is the bridge between your desire and its realization, and autosuggestion is the vehicle that carries your thoughts across that bridge. Most men attempt to change their circumstances without first changing their instructions to the subconscious mind. This is why they remain in poverty. They beg the world to change while continuing to feed their mind with doubt, hesitation, and fear. Your life follows your deepest instruction, not your wish. The subconscious does not know sarcasm. It does not interpret contradiction. It accepts what is repeated, especially what is spoken aloud with emotion. If you repeatedly tell yourself, I can't afford this, or that's too much, or I hope one day things improve, the subconscious accepts this as command, and the world in turn obeys. But if you begin each day with a declaration spoken with intensity, vision, and absolute belief, your subconscious begins to change. It begins to work for you. It begins to arrange your habits, attention, and behavior to align with the riches you have spoken. This is autosuggestion, the act of deliberately influencing your subconscious mind through repeated, emotionalized words. The man who masters this becomes the master of circumstance. He is no longer tossed by winds. He controls the winds from within. There is a formula. I did not invent it. I observed it in the lives of every successful man I ever studied. Write your definite chief aim. Speak it aloud. Visualize it as already achieved. Feel it in your body. Repeat this day and night without fail until it becomes your identity. That is the process. And if you are too proud, too lazy, or too skeptical to perform this process, then let me be clear. Wealth will pass you by. It will find its home in the minds of those who are disciplined enough to train belief the way an athlete trains the body. Do not trust your thoughts. Train them. Do not trust your moods. Speak over them. Do not wait until you feel ready. Declare until you feel ready. The repetition of speech will soon become the repetition of belief, and that belief will bend the world in your favor. Every morning, before the world touches you, stand alone. Breathe deeply. Hold your written aim in your hand. Read it aloud, not like a man begging, but like a man commanding. Speak it until you feel it. Speak it until you see it. Speak it until your subconscious accepts it without question. Then do it again at night. The last thought before sleep is the seed planted in the soil of the subconscious. Water it with repetition, shield it with conviction, and allow infinite intelligence to do what it does best, transform thought into reality. W. Clement Stone understood this. He built an empire by feeding his subconscious with positive mental instruction. Every day he said, I feel happy, I feel healthy, I feel terrific. He understood that emotions obey speech. that belief is built by speaking what is desired until it replaces what is feared. You must do the same, not someday, not when you feel ready. Today, begin now to reprogram the mind. Tear out every phrase of doubt and plant phrases of power. Stop speaking of what is not. Begin speaking of what will be. Say this aloud now. I speak riches. I hear riches. I become what I repeat with faith. Again, with intensity. I speak riches. I hear riches.